According to a rabbinical principle, what is not written in Scripture is non-existent. The story of Jesus follows this principle. That I have come to fulfill Scripture. Scripture must be fulfilled in me. Now, who is Jesus? That question was asked to eternity, really. But 200 years ago, a friend of Blake, on their way into dinner, said to him, "Tell me, what do you think of Jesus? Who is he?" And Blake replied, "Jesus is the only God." Well, then he hastened to add, "And so am I, and so are you." Unfortunately, they went into dinner, and that was the end of the conversation. So we have no further news on it. But he said, "He's the only God, but so am I, and so are you." So tonight let us look at it and see how practical we can make this thing in our world. The New Testament begins with the statement that this is the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. So the story begins with Abraham. So we go back to the story of Abraham and start with the 15th chapter of the book of Genesis. And as the story unfolds, first his name is Abram, exalted father. It's changed later to Abraham, which means the father of the multitudes. So his first name is Abram, this exalted father. And we are told that the Lord spoke to Abram. And he told him that he is his shield, and that his reward will be very great. And Abram said to him, "I have no offspring. You have given me no offspring." And the Lord said to him, "You shall have a son, and the son will be your heir. He will not be one born of a slave in your home, but your own son will be your heir." Then he tells him of what's going to happen to him. He will go into a land that is not his, and the offspring will go into a land that is not his. And he will be a slave there for 400 years. And when he comes out, he will inherit great possessions, very great possessions. Then we are told that Abraham believed them, and it was accounted unto Abraham for righteousness. First he tells you, "I am your shield." In the New Testament we are told, when you put on the armor of God, above all things put on the shield of faith. So we see what the shield is. And the only faith in Scripture is faith in God. Well, God's name forever and forever is I am. That's God's name. That's the name of Jesus. Jesus means I am, really. It's Joshua, and Joshua is Jehovah, and Jehovah is I am. That is my name forever and forever. Man finds it difficult to keep the tense. If he could only keep the tense. But he speaks of thou art and he is and all these things. He can't quite believe. As Blake said to his friend Robinson, he is the only God. But so am I. And so are you. Now we are told a tremendous sleep, a deep and profound sleep fell upon Abraham. And he slept. And then the whole thing unfolded within Abraham in the form of a dream. Now throughout Scripture we are told that God speaks to man in a vision. He makes himself known in a vision and talks to him in a dream. It would be difficult for me to tell you that this is a dream. But tonight, when you do dream, you're not aware of the fact that your body sleeps. If you become aware of the fact that your body is asleep, you start to awake. So here in this so-called waking state, I am telling you this is a dream. And the dreamer is God in you, and that God is your own self, your own I amness. But you do not know that this is a dream any more than you know tonight when you sleep that your dream, in some strange, wonderful way, is to you objective and real, and you're not aware of the fact that you have a sleeping body. So in this waking state, you also have a sleeping body. But you say, this body is not asleep, it's awake. Here I am talking to you from this platform, and I'm fully conscious that I am here, and you're conscious that you are listening to me. So we seem to be completely awake. And yet I know this is a dream. I can control the dream, and you can control the dream if you know it's a dream. The day will come that you will awake from it, and you will awake from the dream. When you awake from the dream, you are God, and you know you are God, only when you're fully awake from the dream. I know in my own case, it was revealed to me that I will make myself known unto you in a vision, and I will speak with you in a dream. Well, he revealed himself to me as the dreamer in me. He said, I laid myself down within you to sleep. And as I slept, I dreamed a dream. I dreamed, and I knew what he was dreaming. He is dreaming that he is I. And that when he awakes, I am he. It was revealed to me as vividly as anything could be to anyone. He laid himself down within me to sleep. And in his sleep, he had a dream. And he's dreaming that he's I. Now, do I really believe it? To the extent that I believe it, I have made my world change to conform to my ideal. If I really believe it is a dream, I can dream a daydream or a night dream. But I must be in control of the dream. Now, when a man takes a state, it's a daydream, and he sees a marquee, and it reads his name, implying ownership of a certain building. It's all a dream. It's a daydream, granted. He knows exactly what he's doing. When he stands before that sign, and he sees the same sign, although no one else can see it, because it isn't there, the sign reads F.N. Roach and Company. And he is looking at it, and he sees J.N. Goddard and Sons, which would imply the Goddards own it, and they didn't have a dime. And for 2 years, he still is looking at that thing twice a day on the way to and the way back home. And he actually feels the thrill that would be his if what he is seeing is true. And 2 years later, an almost total stranger buys the building for him and takes only a piece of paper with his signature on it. For he had no money, no collateral. He said, I watch you, you and your father, and I trust you implicitly. Pay me 6% interest on the investment and reduce the principal every year for 10 years and have it all reduced in 10 years. Well, it was reduced in 10 years. And it was 6% paid to him. In those days, 6% was a big return on your money. This goes back to the year 1922. And so that building became the family's building. It began as a dream. He never forgot the principle. If God does all things, well, he knows then who God is, because God did that. If by him all things are made, and without him was not anything made that was made, well, surely this came out of nothing. He had no money, no collateral, no one to whom he could turn. He only desired to own that building on the main street, at the corner, a wonderful corner. And out of the nowhere, he simply assumed it and remained faithful to it, and then it became his.